Hi guys, welcome back. This is now issue 101 of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. So in this issue we're going to be doing some more of the wiring at the back of the DeLorean, let's get started with it. It's going to look great. As I said in the last issue, that pipe or the cables that come down to the door sill was flapping out a bit. That should be resolved in this issue because we'll be fitting that and securing that into place, which is great. So yeah, without further ado, let's go down and we'll get started. Okay, so let's check off the parts. I think this issue is going to be fairly tricky actually, but we'll see. So I'll open this up, we'll check off the parts. Yeah, it does look a bit fiddly, but we'll see how it goes. So we've got two brackets, which are these silver bits here, and these are the same. There's no direction to those. Okay, we get a tube. Okay, we get some mesh, which is in that packet there. What else do we get? We get some wire, and this would be to secure the cables again. It's that twist wire that we had in the last issue. We get some multicoloured wire. Okay, we've got some wire connector back, which is this part here. And we've got the wire connector, which is this one here. We also get two cables. You've got a longer one, similar to the front, and then we've got a shorter one here as well. And also we get some screws. We've got some KM screws, which are those ones there, and then we've also got some MP screws, and they are silver and they're tiny as well. So I'm just going to grab out my screw pot so we can put all the screws in. We know where we're at. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I think it's going to be fairly tricky. I'm going to grab my screwdriver out, and I'm just going to check. We're going to be using MP screws to start with. That's fine. Okay, we're going to need the mesh, and we're going to need the tube. Now this is going to be fairly tricky, I think. We need to, you've got the holes there on the tube, you can see, and we're going to line up the holes on the mesh, and then we need to roll the mesh around the tube. Now I did see a little tip on Facebook, which I think may help, and that is to screw the mesh in with it being flat first, and what that will do is it will give you a little bit of support as you roll it. It will keep it into place. So I'm not going to put that all the way in. I'm just going to literally start the screws off, and then that will keep that into place. like that. I think that is a good way of doing it. And then what we're going to do is carefully then roll the mesh round. Okay, and then once we've rolled it sort of to that, obviously you can see that's just all the focuses are playing around. There you go. I've got it just to there, right? And then what we'll do is we'll then undo the screws again, holding it all in place, and then hopefully we should be able to just finish that off and then put the screws back through. So yeah, that is a really good tip. What I'll do is I'll leave one end in. I'm just going to twist that round and get one side in. And these screws are absolutely tiny. Right, I'm going to tighten that up. So there you go, I've got one in now, and then I'm going to then undo the other side, holding that into place. Just twist that round and get that screw in, hopefully. Brilliant. And then that just leaves us to get the last one in. So yeah, that is a really good tip. I think that'll make things a lot easier for you. Okay, and then there we go. We've got our mesh tube done. Okay, so once we've done that, we are then going to take our brackets and then we're just going to fit them on either end of the tube. And these need to go on in the same orientation. I'm just having a look at where the screws are. And I'll give you a better view of what I've done. Right. It's sort of like that with these screws facing where the brackets go, and I expect that's just to hide those screws up once it's fitted to the actual DeLorean. So from the outside, you'll just see the nice bit of tube. Okay, so that's that part done. I now need to do a little bit of dodgy camera work to try and get this into view so we can see what we're doing. So what I'm going to do is carefully put this on its wheels, but obviously be careful of the wing mirror. Okay, and I'll move you up there. So you might be able to see where this is going now. Right. You've got two screws. You've got one there, screw holes, one there, and you've also got one there. And we're going to fit that underneath. So you might have to obviously move the brackets. Okay, and then that's going to secure in there with two screws. And now you can see why this didn't matter, because eventually, it's not asking us to do it yet, but we'll be pushing these cables through that tube, and then that'll keep it into place. So we're going to need KM screws now. And then we're just going to secure those to there. Right, now of course, because these are KM, I'm going to use a little bit of oil just to help these go in. I'm using 3-in-1 oil for this. I was using washing up liquid, but we were told that obviously it's water based, so it could rust the screws. But then someone else also said that oil would rust the screws as well. But I'm not sure about that. I think that may have just been a bit of a prank, because I've never known oil to cause rust. So that's one in. I've just loosely put that in. And then we're just going to line the other one up. There we go. And now I'm just going to finish tightening those up. So that's one, and then just tighten the last one up. There we go. So that is the tube fitted. Now we're going to put it back right side. And again, I'm going to move the camera for you, and we're going to be working on the back here. Okay, we're going to take the longer cable that we've got in this issue, which is this part here, and we're going to push that into place. Now you've got two locating pins on that pipe, and they're going to go in the two holes. You've got one just down here in the rear panel, and then you've got this one here. So we're just going to pop that in, just like that. It is a bit loose, but we'll see later on if we need to do anything with that in regards to securing that in a bit better. I mean, I would probably have a tendency to put a bit of super glue just on those, just to hold them into the holes. A very small amount, because obviously you don't want to get that all over the actual paintwork. So once that's in, we're going to take the smaller part, okay, and I'm just going to get some light. You may notice, I'm going to swing you in, you've got a hole just there, and you've got an angled piece on this this cable here. So what we're going to do first, on the top of the cable here, it's almost like a barb. It goes up at an angle. We're going to pop that in. We're going to attach that cable, like by pushing it upwards. And right, sorry about the angle. Right, first of all, take the angled piece, slip it underneath the grey wire that we've put in here. Make sure it goes under that. Then connect it into the cable here by sort of doing an upwards motion to grab that. And then from the inside, you'll see that should then push up and fit into that hole there. And actually that has strengthened all of that. That's made all that stay in now. So it's not so loose. Okay. So I hope that sort of makes sense. But just make sure it goes underneath, like so. So it goes underneath the grey wire there, but above the coloured wires. Otherwise it doesn't quite fit. Okay. So once that's all fitted, we're going to put the cable connectors together. So I'm just going to move this over just for a second. And we'll work on the table. So we'll take our two cable grips. Okay, and I don't think there's actually a direction to this this piece here, but what we're going to do is we're going to line up the locating pins. Okay, and sandwich those together, and then you should have something that looks like that. Okay. Once we've done that, we're going to come back to the vehicle. Okay, and then we're going to fix this in. You've got two holes here, 1 and 2. And there's no sorry, correct way. I think that can go in either way because it's the same as you look at this. Obviously you want the knobbles there on this edge here will be facing outwards, so you've got the flat edge against the back here, and we're going to screw that in. So we're going to line the holes up. I'm just going to pop a screw through. And that's one in. And then we'll just line the other one up. Okay. And then that fitted onto there like so. What we're then going to want to do is straighten some of these cables here. Now, according to the magazine, it wants us to straighten all of these, and I shall show you an example in the magazine. It's telling us to straighten them all. However, I'm not going to do that, because if you look at the later on in the build, it's showing them all as single strands coming down. However, if we go back to issue 100 that we did last week, we also had a twisted wire, but the actual image shows them as being sort of straight. So if I straighten these, I think they're going to look odd, so I'd rather leave them twisted so it matches the front, because the front never told us to untwist them. So as you can see, you know, these are all nicely twisted, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to leave this twisted, just as I say, just to match the front part. But obviously I'm going to have to untwist some of these wires at the end for the next part. Okay, and what we want to do is obviously push these wires individually into the holes. So there is an order as the magazine is showing, so I'm going to do it that way. This is going to be fairly tricky. So it wants, I might need some tweezers for this, and a lot of patience. So it wants the black wire in the first hole here. Okay, it's gone in quite nicely. I hope you can see. So we just push the black wire through. Then we want the yellow. Do you know what I think might be easier? To loosen this. Because then it will give us more gap, won't it? And then we can then secure it down. It doesn't say to do that, it says secure it on. But yeah, that's better. Okay, so we've got black, yellow, then it wants a red. And then two blues. So one blue, another blue. Okay, I'm happy with that. Red, two blues. Then we want a red. A blue. And a red. Okay, so I've done that, and I'm just going to push them up so they're level. That should be fine. Then I'm going to tighten this up, and that should clamp all of those. In their respective channels. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to take the other end of the cable. Okay. And we're going to feed it under and through the rear quarter window here. And then just run it round, let me see, down there, straight down. Yeah, and then just follow it round with the plastic cable we fitted. All right. What we're then going to do is take some of this wire that we had, and we're going to twist some of them up to secure that cable. So I'm going to cut a little bit off here. So the first one, it wants us to put just up here above this bracket. So we're just going to slide that from underneath. Okay, and then we're going to twist that like so, and then I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, so that's the first cable clip done. Yeah, cut off the excess, that's fine, and then we're going to put 3 more bits in. So we want another bit of wire, and then this one is going to go just above okay, here we go, just above the door trim, just here. And then we're going to trim that off. And then we want one, this might get a bit difficult for you to see, get another bit of wire. You get plenty of wire, so we want one just down here, just where the sill meets here, or the valance. No, it's not the valance, is it? You know what I mean. The bottom of the sill there. Sorry if I'm moving the camera. I'm trying to twist this into position. And what we're doing all this, it's just bringing everything, you know, it's these small details that just make this thing pop, doesn't it? You know, it's just every issue is contributing to make it just better and better. I mean, I know we've had a lot of problems with some of the detail, especially inside. Okay, I'm just going to use my tweezers up there just to move that. Okay, so we've got that, and then the last one is just going to go and sit along the bottom here. So for this, I'm actually going to move the DeLorean up on its side. And I've been keeping these wires as well, because I've still got quite a lot left. I've actually kept it, and a little bit from last week, just in case we need to do some tidying up later on, or, you know, something doesn't sit right, we can then add a bit more. Okay, so this is just going to go down here, just to hold that in place. Just there, and it wants the cable just before the pink bit there, the purple. So just line that up to where you would like that to sit, and then twist that up. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to snip that, and then just fold that back so we can't see the top. There we go. Brilliant. Next thing it wants us to do is actually snip the bottom, some of the excess off this cable, and we already did that actually in the last issue without even this being told. I just did it. Okay, and then we're going to carefully fit that, pull it back, and fit it into the tube. Okay, I'm happy with that, I think. I'm just gonna unravel them very slightly, just so there's room to get all of that in. Okay. Okay, so that has been pushed into there. We're then going to move to the front. This is where I said it didn't matter about where this sit. I've already cut this back last week, but it's in this issue it's telling us to cut that back, and then also we're going to straighten that out. Okay, and then fit that into the end of the tube, and then push that all home. I'm just straightening the wires out a bit. Okay. And that, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, is issue 101 complete. And I'm going to try and get you a view of the side. There we go. So we now got the wiring coming down here through the tube, or so it looks, and then up. And yeah, I think that is amazing. That's just made that pop, that side of the vehicle. So yeah, that was it. That was issue 101. Yeah, really enjoyed that. It was a lot of it was fiddly in the last few issues, but yeah, it's worth it. I mean, it's the details there now on this side. Obviously, we've still got a lot more to do on the back. We've got the rear flux bands and everything, which will make it, you know, even better. But yeah, I really like that, and yeah, amazing. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you wish to buy me a coffee, there is a link in the description below. And yeah, take care and have a great week, and I'll see you next week for issue 102. Take care.